know it's not February, but we're going to celebrate Black History today on Crossroads. I have here with me in the studios a living legend. Help me welcome Mr. Don Hudson. It was 35 years ago this year that you became the first African-American head coach at a predominantly white university.
That is true.
Now, you know, you don't think about being a trailblazer or being a historian, and I mean, how did all this come about?
Oh, geez. Well, I was an assistant coach at McAllister, and for 2 years, then the head coach resigned. And so I applied for the job. And I guess at the time, I had the quote-unquote best qualifications at the time, so I ended up getting the job. But I had no idea of the significance of all of it. I was just glad to be there.
You're just trying to get a job.
Yes, I just wanted to be a head coach and finally got to be one.
So when they gave you the position, did you know that you were the first African-American?
No.
How did you find out?
I found out by one of the players by the name of Charles Young, who was a reporter for the Mac Weekly, and he was on the football team. And someone had written an article, and it came out in the Tribune, and he wrote another article saying that the newspaper was wrong, that our coach was the first black coach. And how he knew that, I don't know. But sure enough, the Tribune then in turn retracted their story. So that's really how I found out.
Now, what was it like? Take me back 35 years ago when you got the job. You were the first African-American head coach at that university. Was there any backlash? Was there a celebration? What was the atmosphere like then?
There's no backlash, really. The university, we just went along like nothing happened. And the players accepted it. I was a little apprehensive at first, but the players accepted it. No one questioned it, not at least at Mac. Except one of the coaches. He was a little upset about it all. He thought he should have got the
I was going to say, he probably wanted the position himself.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I can understand that. You know, when I was an assistant and somebody came in, I'd want the job. But anyhow, other than that, it was just the same. Every day we go to practice and do our thing. And
so you guys weren't even thinking this was going to be a historic event. You were just doing your job, being a coach, guiding these kids, trying to win games. You didn't look at the historical significance of it.
No, not at all.
So now you've got your wife is here, a beautiful lady. She's been by your side this whole time.
Yeah. Very
supportive of you in your endeavors. How was she when all this happened and all the situation came up that you were a historian?
Well, it really happened with her about when we were playing the games. I thought she might jump down and grab a couple of the officials times, and you know, she was in our corner, and you know, she was always there to support us and so forth. And then even the kids, you know, I'd take film home over the weekend, and we'd look at film, and I'd have all the kids working on the screen, and they're picking out faults of the other team and our faults, and they'd help me chart the offenses and defenses and get ready for next week and so forth. So it was strictly a family affair.
Really? And so you wouldn't have been able to do it this long and be where you are today without their support?
Oh, no way.
And so tell me this, there are a lot of people looking up to you, big celebrations. You know, there's been, you know, articles written, magazine covers, we've got television stuff. How does all this make you feel that, you know, I don't know why it took it this long for us to say, wait a minute, we need to honor this man. You know, this is a historic event. It's happening right here in the Twin Cities. You know, it took a long time. I don't know about you, but I would have been mad that somebody didn't give me my flowers before now and celebrate my accomplishments.
I feel very humble about it all. It really came about by my son-in-law, Eric Paris, who, after a conversation, he found out that I had been the first black coach, And we never talked about it anymore. Next thing I know, he had gotten in contact with McAllister and then gotten in contact with Jay Weiner. And they just kept on going and digging up history and looking at stuff. And the next thing I know, Jay Weiner calls me and comes by the house, and interviews me, then writes this article in the Minnesota Monthly Weekly.
Which was a wonderful article.
Yeah, and it's just been going from there, you know.
So how does all that make you feel? Tell me the truth. How does all that make you feel?
It makes me feel great.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about your wife? Is she prancing around with her chest all stuck out and everything?
Without question.
And we have your players here. Greg McMorris is here, seated next to you. Mike Evervald. Jeff Hassan is here. Lee Nystrom and Dale Warden, who wasn't even supposed to be here, has crashed the party and decided to come and be a part of the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to talk more with you guys in our next segment, but anybody just want to jump on in and give us a preview and tell us, what kind of guy was this?
Short.
Well, I think one of the reasons that we're all here is, and it came out when I started reading some of the letters, is that he was really a surrogate father for all of us. And I thought it was just me. I thought it was Special Hut. And you know, the same sentiment came across over and over again.
So it wasn't, you thought you had a special bond, but he's treating everybody like son. Is that the case?
Absolutely. Our families go back a little bit further than McAllister, but it was a powerful experience, and Coach is the person who took care of us over there. And that's pretty important. You can get emotional about it, but he took care of us.
We're not going to have an Oprah moment up here, Dale. I don't want you crying. But when you think of Coach, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
It would have to be the fact that I respected him and still respect him, probably second only to my father. It was a tough time at McAllister because we weren't known as a powerhouse at the time on the football team. Yet, after 4 years, and we talked about this last night, a couple of the players and I, that we really came out winners. And to have gone through all that loss and still coming out of school feeling like a winner, we have to credit it to Coach because he gave us that feeling.
I think one of the things he taught us early on, I played with him in high school as well, was that win, lose, or draw, when it was over, you held your head high and you were proud of what you accomplished and what you did. He preached that all the time to us. And I think it stuck with us all through our lives and everything else we do. You're always a winner if you put forth your greatest efforts.
You got something to say? I can see it. It's right here. Don't cry on me. Don't cry on me.
I represent McAllister as I'm a board trustee currently. Today is Don Hudson Day at McAllister, and one of the things from my standpoint, these are teammates of mine, but I had the opportunity to play in the National Football League for the Green Bay Packers, and making the jump from Division III to the NFL is a difficult thing to accomplish, but one of the things that Coach Hudson always did is I always viewed him as a motivator. He always motivated us to play our best. We always went into every game, whether we were huge underdogs or not, with the idea that we had the opportunity to win.
Wow.
And that's the one thing that I remember about Coach.
All right, well, you guys, we're going to get back to you, talk about some amazing stories and the man, the legend. I'm going to take him from his wife, I promise. We're going to run off together. You guys stick around. More on Crossroads is next. Stay with us.